Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. I've been a bit ill though over the weekend, so I'm slowly recovering, taking it easy.
Yeah, I've been struggling too. This whole last week, I've been just like kind of on the verge of getting like full sick, but like
Yeah,
I'm just like that tired that you feel when you're fighting something.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. I mean, likewise, I think it has been like a week, and then eventually I think we fell.
yeah,
And then yeah.
yeah. Well, glad
Yeah,
you feel
how's
better.
everything on your end, by the way? Are you planning to come to Paris after all? Hey, Vala.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much decided that I'm gonna come.
Yay.
I need to figure out some logistics though.
Cool. Looking forward to meet you.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great.
Hey guys,
Hey,
Hello.
hello. I actually met Bala in India many years ago, so
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah,
it was
we had some fun.
yeah, a lot of fun.
Cool.
You should also visit Jason.
What was
Next
that?
time, maybe next time you should also visit API Days India.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll
Yeah.
have a lot of fun.
I think we need more
So
money, like the async API guys that fly everywhere on every event in the globe. I think that sounds very fancy.
yeah, yeah, they have lined up events that they were going when we met in Bangalore. So like they had lined up 3-4 events sponsored, I guess. I'm not sure whether they're sponsored or not, but yeah, it was nice meeting Async API guys and community, JSON Schema community. Like people at API Days, Bangalore, I was in person there along with Agnivesh and one other guy, Jack Breeze, I guess. So it was nice. Many people are curious about what we are as JSON schema community. Um, like what me and Agnivesh felt was like we need to create a lot of awareness about JSON schema. Like the first question from most of the guys is like, what does your company do? Like they think that it is a company, not an open source organization.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's where we have to educate people. We need to have better presence next time.
Yeah. Yeah. We get that a lot with people who are just like opening issues or something, like that they like want something done, and it's like, and then they get upset when things aren't happening, and we have to say, you know what, we're all volunteers here. We're all doing the best we can. If you want something faster, donate. you know
Yeah,
Yeah, still. I mean, I remember that Ben ages ago was saying that JSON Schema had a huge presence in Japan, but then language and stuff, it was very hard to penetrate. Yeah. Hey, Greg, how's it going?
Hey,
Hey,
Greg.
how's it going?
Talking
It's a
about
lot of work.
yes, definitely. Chatting about JSON schema usage, around the world. It's funny, by the way. I mean, so I get a lot of traffic on learnjsonschema.com, and the vast majority of the traffic comes from Germany, China,
Hmm.
and Russia by like a huge amount, which is
Hmm,
interesting.
interesting. I don't think we have um, donors from any of those places.
Yeah, right. Who knows? But if you sum it all together, actually Europe is more than half of the traffic. The continent altogether, but just divided in small countries. But Germany, it's a non-proportional amount of visitors for some reason.
Not sure about how Germany have more visitors, but even there was a couple of speakers at API Days Bangalore from Germany. I think part of Async API community and Open API. So the traffic to the JSON schema and interest for JSON schema comes from those two communities is what I observed. Like either they are direct consumers of Open API or Async API. They do not understand that they are also consumer of JSON schema. So that's something is being abstracted by those two communities. And what I feel is like they, as Open API and Async API community, should advocate more about JSON schema for us to get a better presence or visibility. What I observed.
Yeah, I think that's why the async API guys have has been encouraging us to come to their and be part of their booths, and like we're doing with the API days and stuff, all that stuff. So they're trying to help promote JSON schema is important as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's been my experience that most people know JSON schema through Open API or Swagger or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And most of the people, like 50-50, they were product managers, product designers, who knows about JSON schema, but they don't directly interact with JSON schema. And they come to us at the booth and tell us that they wish their engineers will come here and interact, but they are not at the conference. So, yeah. And I had an interesting conversation with, I think, someone at Activity, a company, who came as a part of Async API initiative, but he told me that they are still with older draft of JSON schema because they feel that it is the older version satisfies their requirements, as well as they also feel that it's a lot of effort for them to migrate to the newer versions. So I told them, like, whenever they want to move, they can contact us and we can help them. But not sure when they will.
I think that has more to do with like they think it's going to be difficult to upgrade rather than it actually is, because I mean very little has actually changed as far as backwards compatibility. They might have to change a couple of names, like definitions to $defs. And for the most part, that's all they really got to do, and their schemas will work. So I think it's more of a fear of changing things that's not broken.
But I think it's tooling, I think, mostly, right? Because it's not just, let's update the schemas. It's trying to survey, mainly a big company, right? I'm working with a big company at the moment, and they're like, we have no even idea for what things, we're using JSON schema. And they're like 20 teams all over the world, probably all using their own tooling or their own library for the programming languages of choice, and there is no way to even know what people are using. So therefore, everybody's very, very, adverse to doing any upgrade on their schema collection, right? That they distribute throughout the company, because will we even broke somebody at the tooling level? We have no idea, right?
It's right. Actually, most of the people who use AJV doesn't know that which version of JSON schema draft they are on, and AJV defaults to draft 7. That's how like when they say that they use AJV, that's how we know that which JSON schema they are on. So they don't even know that it's old and outdated, or like newer versions are out. So
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that they thought that the latest version was draft 7.
yeah.
And I'm sure that's a lot of that has to do with AJB, the defaults to draft 7.
Yeah, and the like I'm also planning to change the default for HAV plus the fork that I'm maintaining to the latest one. That will be out like whenever V1 is out. I think that should be a good candidate to be default. I
Is the
got it.
fork somewhere on GitHub, by the way?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you said so last time, but
Yeah, it's out, and even Bautai accepted it as implementation. Let me share this.
I'm gonna add the first star to the project. I just found.
Did it get onto Bowtie yet?
Yeah,
I know
but
you're working on it.
Bowtie UI is not getting updated due to some issue, which I tried to resolve to a certain extent. Some of the issues I fixed, I sent some PRs and they got approved, but I think the UI part where it is not updating the latest results, I needed more context. I asked Julian about that, but I think he's a little busy right now. But there's a PR that got updated.
Nice.
Jason,
Yeah.
I saw your PR for all the test updates for the upcoming draft or the upcoming version, removing draft next and all that kind of stuff. From your summary, looks like you've addressed all the appropriate things. My implementation is not up to date with the draft, or with the I guess technically it's draft right now, but it's not up to date with the proposed version yet. So I need to do that before I can run the suite. I've been kind of putting it off because I feel like I need to revamp the architecture. It's kind of a spaghetti mess right now. And I've been putting it off because I don't want to deal with it. So I've been doing a lot of programming in my job, taking a legacy code base and modernizing it, re-architecting and all that kind of stuff. So I'm already doing all the things all the activities, just not the right code base.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like fun though. Yeah. I'm in a similar spot with my implementation. Actually, I want to redo a few things, and I just don't have the time to actually get it done. And it's holding back lots of stuff, like the language server work is blocked by it and everything. So yeah, how do you feel?
Yeah, mine's more of an issue of motivation.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking with that particular PR, maybe it's not terribly important that that there are implementations that can run it, because
Yeah.
it's looking to the future. If it's got bugs, then then it's got bugs, and we'll fix them when we get more implementations ready.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I don't think I've updated everything that we've talked about changing, and I only updated the things that my implementation was failing. So so it's possible there are things that I've missed as well.
Okay.
So yeah, so I might give that like the 2 weeks lead time, and then just merge it.
Yeah, I'll have a look through it and see if anything stands out.
Cool.
Yeah, I've seen those PRs as well. I mean, I think the test suite in general could have a lot more coverage, right? I think as we also when we were working on implementations, I think we're probably maybe, I guess not just me, right? But we probably write like thousands of unit tests outside of the test suite for covering all sorts of tricky things. And I wonder how much we can even take advantage into at least a setup that Bautai has. For example, running many evaluators. It would be interesting to do an exercise on trying to discover which schemas or which type of schemas you can more likely break implementations or get different results, right? Even throwing some AI at that or something like that, right? I found that AI was actually not bad at creating minimum, weird examples. So I generated quite a few for my implementation, and I wonder, with some feedback from other implementations, you can quickly find some hotspots of oddities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead, Jason.
I'll give an update of what I've been working on. I've been motivated to do some spec updates, as well as some test suite updates, as I've been working on implementing formats, which is something I never did before, especially with the IDN stuff. It's brought up quite a few issues. So yeah, I think my biggest blocker with some of that stuff is just getting people to review and engage in the discussions, because some of these things I think need to change, and well, I guess I need people to weigh in, so I'm not making a change by myself.
Yeah.
What formats would you say were the hardest?
So IDN hostname is incredibly complicated. It's a lot more complicated than I think people realize. From what I looked at, very few implementations actually even implement it, and especially for JavaScript, it's a very large implementation, no matter what you do. So it's difficult to require that for all languages. So so I think that needs to be made optional somehow, or whatever. Also, just the plain host name is complicated as well, because of change that happened in draft 7, which means that it basically needs to be evaluated as an international domain name as well. which means even the plain host name is going to be a pretty big burden. And then IDN email.
Are there official test suites for all of those? I mean, even beyond JSON schema? Because I think that's one of the challenges, right? For example, I actually completed, it was a week ago, something like that, but now I have my own URI implementation, given that I continue facing oddities and weird things with all the URI external ones I was using before. So I kind of, got sick of that and wrote my own. But even the testing, right? And it was the same. Even with URIs, you don't find anything that has comprehensive testing, and most of the things you find them the hard way, right?
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, that's probably a major one. I believe that even for these things like host names, and maybe we end up creating at least a semi-good test suite. I think that's most of the problem. If you know what you need to implement, that's most of it, right? I think it's the unknown that makes it 3 times harder, in my opinion, at least.
Maybe instead of requiring that implementations support all of the formats that we specify, we say that implementations can support the ones that they want. But if they don't fully support, or if they don't support any of them, they need to, they need to throw an error saying that they don't support, and then the level of support is defined by the test suite.
Yeah. Actually, that is what we changed it to already. So it has more to do with the problem is more with the existing specs. Like the current spec says that that you can't support the format assertion library or vocabulary if you don't support all of the formats full. And so that's pretty restrictive. And there's nothing we can do about
that. I don't
that.
know, because you have your current support of 2020 now. I don't see how changing the support dynamic is going to change the 2020. Like even if you're adding some format support in order to be compatible with our next version, that doesn't change your compatibility with 2020. I don't think.
That's right. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that.
So, I mean, I guess unless you're putting pressure on yourself to support them, there's nothing from the spec that's requiring you to do it.
Right. Yep. I think one issue that I think comes up though is that people are supporting those things improperly, despite what the spec says. In fact, that's by far the norm and not the exception.
Yeah, I think that's why it's important for us to have the test suite. I don't know if there's a way that we can incorporate compliance with what's in the test suite into the spec. But it seems like we need to have some defined metric for what is compliant and what's not.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things I did with the tests, because we made it default to assertions, I moved the format test from optional to required test.
Yeah.
That could help with that situation a lot too. Although it's interesting, maybe it technically shouldn't be in optional or shouldn't be in required because because I don't think we actually require people to implement those formats, just that they throw an error if they don't.
Yeah. Maybe we optional doesn't seem strong enough though.
Yeah. Yeah, neither place is quite right, huh? It's probably best to just put it in the required section, and people can ignore the ones that they don't support.
Just say it in the README.
Yeah.
For these tests are pass fail or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's where that's it for my update. Hopefully try to get people to weigh in on some of these issues, some of these outstanding issues, so we can get some of them resolved. I think a few of them are hanging. It's kind of, yeah, the difficulty with getting people to engage is not as much getting them to comment, but to getting people to continue a discussion once they've once they've made a comment.
Yeah.
For example, I had one with Karen who commented that something about I don't think this is right, and I made my case, and I'm still waiting to hear back. And
just ghosted the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does happen. Yeah, I don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah, and then it's hard to just say I'm going to move forward with this because there was somebody who chimed in and said I don't think this is right, but at the same time,
I mean, maybe actually the policy for handling those cases is to act as a forcing function, right? I mean, if the policy says, well, I mean, you have the right to discuss and engage, right? But if you completely disappear, I mean, you kind of lost your point in there. So if you care, you have to keep going. Like you don't have the ability to just completely freezing everything and then just disappearing, right?
Right.
So maybe that makes it better.
Yeah, to me, that's like if you make a comment and then disappear, then effectively the comment can be ignored, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I will. I'll follow up on some of those issues in that vein, but I'll ask people to continue and not just say, well, you didn't answer for 3 weeks. I'm moving on.
Yeah. Outside of that, I think we have a few low-hanging fruit items on the board. I tried to keep up with all the issues being created. Let me share this real quick. Need to come share screen. That one. So can you guys see the development board?
Yep.
Cool. So these in discussion ones over here, we just have to kind of get, I don't know that we need all of them completely resolved before we go live, but I think there are maybe a few in here, like the dynamic references aren't URIs, which is removing the little hash. Jason, I seem to recall you addressed that somewhere. Maybe not.
No, we haven't come up with a
Was there something in the tests, maybe in the test PR that you changed about that?
No, I did not change that.
Okay, that's what it was. It was the fallback to allow full URIs in there. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, these aren't necessarily like showstoppers in my opinion. Maybe publication process is something we should probably address, but we haven't discussed anything there. The media format or the media type is something we need the spec for first. And then, yeah. So, as I said, I don't think that many of these are critical. Maybe a couple of them we should probably address before we publish. We do need to get the pre-release cleanup. I would like to have at least all of the TSC members have a go over the spec and just kind of make it bleed. Red ink and all that. Aside from that, I think we're in a really good place. We're a lot better than we were last year. And hopefully we can get something published in January. And we have the all of the other discussions that in the private channels that still need to be resolved as well.
Yeah. I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Yeah, it seems like it could take a while.
Very exciting.
There's a link to that board if anybody wants it. Anything else?
Guess that's it.
All right.
All right. Well, good to see you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Yes.